What's up, Snatch Faces? Back with another review. Want to talk about Shin Godzilla real quick. I checked it out last night. Let me first say it's an extremely long movie. If you think you're just gonna get in and get out with an hour and a half, no, you're committed to this motherfucker unless you want to pause it and watch it the next day. It's the only similarities between this and the shitbag American Gareth Edwards fuckface directed version, starring that piece of fucking boring fuck trash Aaron Johnson, is that they focus a lot on humans. But this has more Godzilla than that bag of shit. And speaking of Aaron Johnson, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He was okay in Kick Ass, and then I don't know. I don't know if it's because he married a 60-year-old dried up bag, but Jesus fucking Christ, man, he really has screwed the pooch, man. He fucking sucks now. Thank God the Quicksilver character fucking died, the one that he was playing. Because Jesus Christ, he's a fucking embarrassment. But anyways, um, the Shin Godzilla movie, the humans that it focuses on are the government officials. So it kind of gives you an insight to some of the Japanese culture, the way they go about things, etc. So that's really interesting to me because, it's, I don't know, in a lot of these movies, a monster shows up, the army shows up. That may or may not be what happens, but with this, it shows the process, the whole thought process about what goes on when there's, a threat to the population and that type of stuff. So, like military action is the last thing they want to do because they want to protect lives. But of course, it's a Godzilla movie, so you're gonna see them, attack Godzilla and Godzilla fight them back, etc. But with this, it's interesting. Godzilla goes through, I believe, 5 phases. His first phase is almost looks like a turtle, and then he slowly gets upright, and then he slowly kind of turns into the Godzilla that we're all familiar for. See, it's different, but it's still the same basic Godzilla design. But man, this really does need some fucking editing. There is, I mean, they could cut it down to 2 hours, and it would be great. For instance, there's a part in the movie where when they're trying to figure out what Godzilla is, they bring in some specialists, some scientists, and the whole scene they're just sitting there, they don't really say anything, and then a couple of the scientists are like, well, I don't want to say that it's this or that because I have my reputation on the line. And then the guy walks out of the room, one of the generals or whatever, and he's talking to his assistant, and he's like, boy, that was a waste of time. And I'm like, yeah, it was a fucking waste of time, man. You didn't even have to show them sitting in the room saying that. You could have just showed them going in the room, cut to another scene real quick, and then cut to them coming out of the room and him saying, man, that was an absolute waste of time. We need blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of things that it really needs editing, but again, that might be because of the Japanese sensibilities in movies where, it's a little less action, a little more, getting into the meaning of things, the humanity of things, blah blah blah, that type of shit. So it's cool, to see that. But I mean, if they're ever were gonna, release it here, if they would have at the time in the theaters, they would have had to edit the fuck out of this. And there's a lot of like words that they use, and I've tried to look up the meaning, and you just can't find it. Like for instance, gracery, not grocery, gracery. And you try to Google it, it'll automatically take you to grocery. So, and then when you look at Gracery, you find out that that's like there's last names of that, and but they mention it like a bunch of times. So if anybody knows what the fuck a Gracery is, or if it's like a big family there or something, and that's why they keep saying it, I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff that you'll sit there and it'll kind of take you out of like the next few seconds. You're like, what the fuck's a Gracery? Um, and then there is this incredibly, incredibly beautiful woman in there. And she plays a Japanese U.S. agent that's been sent over there to basically tell them to get their shit together, or else the U.S. is gonna come over there and just bomb the fuck out of it and kill everyone with stealth bombers. But god damn, if you watch this for any other reason, fucking Jesus Christ, if there was ever a perfect woman, it is fucking her. I don't know her fucking name, but god damn, if you watch it, woo, that's enough to watch. Fuck Godzilla, it could just be her just looking at the screen talking. Man, she's fucking hot. But but basically he goes through 5 different changes and he keeps evolving and evolving. They send the army after him, and then of course the United States gets involved. And there's another kind of interesting scene where they ask the United States, what are they calling it? Like, because we don't have a name for it, and they say Godzilla or Gojira. That's how they say it in Japan. And then they say, man, that's a dumb name. And they're like, well, at least we have a name now. That's what the U.S. call it. Which is funny because, of course the Japanese named him Gojira, Godzilla. So, I don't know. That was just a little weird scene that stuck out to me. But, and he fights, blah, 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 blah. It's the same Godzilla story retold, but the interesting thing is to see how the government would react, or the closest thing to it, how they would react to a giant kaiju just blasting the whole city. But the end is very, very interesting. I just want to talk about. I'm not really giving anything away, but I guess I am. Fuck it. But they figure out how to put some blood coagulant into his body, and they take him down through clever ways. It's pretty cool. It's one of the better battles against Godzilla that I've seen. That's actually creative and it makes sense, and they kind of explain what they're going to do in depth. Again, it's almost a 3-hour movie, I believe. But in the end, they focus on his tail, and you see these like skeleton demons with the Godzilla fins coming out of the back that are frozen, and they were just coming out of his tail, and then it just goes to black. So that really has me excited to when they do the sequel to that, the Japanese sequel. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that sequel until 2012 because that's when the contract with Legendary runs out, and they can't do a sequel until then. So I'm kind of glad that they have this time because we're going to get Godzilla King of Monsters before then, and they're going to be, and then the third movie is going to be Kong vs. Godzilla. But I'm particularly interested in the Japanese Shin Godzilla, this reboot, because of that. They're taking the Godzilla character to a whole nother level. They've reimagined a lot of what he can do. He can shoot a laser out of the tip of his tail and stuff like that. It sounds kind of stupid if you don't see it, but the way they do it, I mean, the CGI is surprisingly good. It's just a good movie if you like kaiju, if you like science fiction, if you like cities getting completely fucked up. Check this out, man. And they have a anime coming out of Godzilla. It's going to be on Netflix on January 17th, and this is supposed to continue that story, I guess, in some way. So I'm definitely going to check that out. And let's see, what else did I want to talk about on here? I guess that's it. Anyways, yeah, check out Shin Godzilla. I wouldn't say it's a good bookend to the other one because Gareth Edwards he's just a fucking boring director. Gareth Edwards, the guy that directed the 2014 Godzilla. I mean, if you watch Monsters, it's boring. If you read about Rogue One, they had to bring other people in to re-edit it because apparently it was a mess and it was boring. And Godzilla was boring. So I don't know why the fuck this dude keeps getting jobs, but stop hiring this motherfucker. He doesn't know how to do an action movie. Give him a fucking love movie where it's just dumb shit, because I think he'd be good at that. And whatever you do, I hope Aaron Johnson's never in anything again. You know what I'm saying? He just fucking sucks the life out of fucking every role. He's just a fucking stale fuckface. But, yeah, check out Shin Godzilla. I believe you can get it on DVD. If not, pop up a bootleg site, because that's how I watched it, man. Fuck paying for that shit. And I will see you motherfuckers later with another review, and I will try to make it somewhat coherent next time. So thank you, fuck off, eat a bag of dicks, and go suck a dick and eat a bowl of baby shit.